Hello, it's time for another Christmas story, and today our story is titled A Christmas Legend by Florence Scannell. It was Christmas Eve. The night was very dark and the snow falling fast as Herman, the charcoal burner, drew his cloak tighter around him, and the wind whistled fiercely through the trees of the Black Forest. He had been to carry a load to a castle near, and was now hastening home to his little hut. Although he worked very hard, he was poor, gaining barely enough for the wants of his wife and his 4 small children. He was thinking of them when he heard a faint wailing. Guided by the sound, he groped about and found a little child, scantily clothed, shivering and sobbing by itself in the snow. "Why, little one, have they left thee here all alone to face this cruel blast?" The child answered nothing, but looked up piteously into the charcoal burner's face. "Well, I cannot leave thee here. Thou wouldst be dead before morning." So saying, Herman raised it in his arms, wrapping it in his cloak and warming its little cold hands in his bosom. When he arrived at his hut, he put down the child and tapped at the door, which was immediately thrown open, and his children rushed to meet him. "Here, wife, is a guest to our Christmas Eve supper," he said, leading in the little one, who held timidly to his finger with its tiny hand. "And welcome he is," said the wife. "Now let him come and warm himself by the fire." The children all pressed round to welcome and gaze at the newcomer. They showed him their pretty fir tree decorated with bright-colored lamps in honor of Christmas Eve. Then they sat down to supper, each child contributing of its portion for the guest, looking with admiration at its clear blue eyes and golden hair, which shone so as to shed a brighter light in the little room. And as they gazed, it grew into a sort of halo around his head, and his eyes beamed with a heavenly luster. Soon 2 white wings appeared at his shoulders, and he seemed to grow larger and larger. And then the beautiful vision vanished, spreading out his hands as in benediction over them. Herman and his wife fell on their knees, exclaiming in awe-struck voices, "The Holy Christ Child!" And then they embraced their wondering children in joy and thankfulness that they had entertained the heavenly guest. The next morning, as Herman passed by the place where he had found the fair child, he saw a cluster of lovely white flowers with dark green leaves, looking as though the snow itself had blossomed. Herman plucked some and carried them reverently home to his wife and children, who treasured the fair blossoms and tended them carefully in remembrance of that wonderful Christmas Eve, and they called them chrysanthemums. And every year, as the time came round, they put aside a portion of their feast and gave it to some poor little child, according to the words of Christ, "Inasmuch as ye have done it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me." And that's the story of A Christmas Legend. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you the next time.